I need my axe!
I just wanted some sauce on those zingers.
All right, everybody, welcome to the show. I hope you're having a fantastic man and bird day. A couple shameless plugs first. First and foremost, subscribe to Review Tech USA. I upload content on pretty much a regular basis, and I stream on a fairly regular basis, so leave a like and a comment as well. It helps out in the algorithm. And secondly, I have an ASMR channel called Tech25 ASMR. I have plenty of content up there already. I know I haven't uploaded in a minute, but I have plenty of stuff in store for that channel in 2026, so make sure you go sub to Tech25 ASMR. I'll have a link to everything I mentioned below in the description and top pinned comment. So part 4,976 of everything's getting more expensive. There's a research firm that is saying that the Switch 2 in 2026 is going to get a price increase, which I think it's inevitable. Well, anyway, there was a previous video I made where Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa, hopefully I said the name right, actually came out and made a statement. And essentially it was a vague one saying that we're watching the situation closely. We have a stockpile of components right now, but that it was basically saying we don't want to say anything right now. We don't want the bad PR. And we're going to see how long we could keep going with this current price, but eventually we're going to have to change it. That's what I gathered from it. Because I promise you, if they thought that they could keep the price down for all of 2026, even if they maybe had to increase it in 2027, they would say, for 2026, we see that we could keep the current price of the Switch 2. They're not saying that, so that's bad news. Well, anyway, I've made a billion videos so far talking about how components for PCs, the price is increasing, especially RAM. I mean, buying 32 or 64 gigabyte kits or any kind of DDR5 RAM especially has gone up sometimes double, if not more, in price. And what do you think happens when those components go up? It's not just going to affect pre-built or home-built or custom-built PCs. I don't know, what is home-built? Where else are you going to build it on the roof of your house? It's not just going to affect that. Anything that has these components like RAM and storage, and it's going to affect it all. And the Switch 2 is no exception. Well, if you think the price of the Switch 2 is going to stay the same, even with the vague statement of Nintendo's president, I got bad news for you. This comes from PCGamer.com. I'll read it to you, then we'll discuss. In response to the rising prices of RAM and storage in 2026, the Nintendo Switch 2 may be set to become more expensive. This is according to research firm Nico Partners, who I've used throughout the years, and they're pretty on point and accurate with their predictions. This is according to research firm Niko Partners via Video Games Chronicle. In its 2026 prediction post, Nico Partners says, "We believe the Switch 2 is set to follow in Sony and Microsoft's footsteps with its own price hike driven by the impact from tariffs, increased memory costs, and broader macroeconomic conditions." Now, this part is interesting. The report goes on to point out that Nintendo chose to keep the $449 price point last year, despite tariffs impacting production. And it suggests that Nintendo may instead choose to remove the cheapest Switch bundle. This is what they think they will do. This would make buying a Switch 2 more expensive, but only for those looking for a console by itself. If you buy the console in a bundle, it could cost the same according to this prediction. So they're saying that, all right, they're going to make a $499 US Switch 2 bundle, but it's going to come with a game that more chances than not a lot of people were going to buy anyway. So even though it is a console price increase, if they bring back a bundle, they got rid of the Mario Kart World bundle, most people who are going to buy the game anyway wouldn't feel it. So it's a psychological way to, it's psyops Nintendo's doing to make you not feel the price increase of the console. Now, there's other weird things happening in the tech industry. There's a lot of rumors that smartphone manufacturers are going to bring back micro SD card slots to make up for the lack of storage that'll be in the next gen flagship phones, because they're going to have to cut back on internal storage. They're saying that some laptop manufacturers may go back to 8 gigabytes of RAM in some models for laptops. So that's a thing. I mean, I guess there's a silver lining that we'll have to see Microsoft with Windows 11 maybe optimize the operating system, and game developers may have to optimize their games better because, GPUs, they're going to, I mean, hell, even before any of this, NVIDIA was being chintzy with how much VRAM their GPUs had. They stuck to 8 gigabytes forever, and they're going to keep sticking to 8 gigabytes for their entry-level / mid-range cards. So yeah, and on top of it, RAM in the phones. I forgot to mention this one. RAM, they're going to keep it down to like 8 gigabytes, maybe sometimes less. Again, I guess optimization will really have to be a thing. Yay. Wishful thinking is that we can look back on this and be like, oh, Rich was all doom and gloom, and I'm sure people in my live streams will roast. Remember how you said, Rich, that this is them trying to make everything be cloud computing and AI was just the Trojan horse to start this and make this happen? Yeah, and man, it sure sucks to be wrong. Actually, I wouldn't think it sucks at all. I would think it's great. And hopefully it's just a rehash of when NVIDIA released the 30 series cards or 3000 series cards, whatever you want to say, in late 2020 when COVID was a thing and crypto mining was a thing. And it'll be something we look back on and say, man, I'm glad we got over that. But I just think this is, I mean, you had Jeff Bezos saying that he thinks that local compute power is antiquated. He compared it to electricity and how people used to have generators, and there was a brewery he went to where they had their own power, and he says that's antiquated because everyone is on the grid now, and it's changed everything. You know what else has changed too? Those electric companies, which you really don't have competitors to in most areas, you just have to deal with the one that's there, can choose to make you pay whatever you need to pay to keep your lights on. You have no say over it. What do you think is going to happen when everything else is up in the cloud? I know I'm talking about this for the 8th billionth time, but I want you to understand how dire this is. So they're going to be able to, if you need to work, if you need to video edit, or you need to do anything that's intensive on a computer, you're going to need to get that cloud compute power that you can't just do it on the dummy terminal that you have at home. They could choose to charge you whatever they want, and you have to pay it, or you may be unemployed, or you don't have access to games, or you don't have access to beyond games, things that are actually necessary. And talk about, we already have crazy issues with privacy. And there was a CIA whistleblower recently that says all the smart TVs are listening to us. So we already have no privacy now. If everything is in the cloud and all of your files are in the cloud, you're going to have negative privacy. I know they're already spying on us and listening and tracking down everything we do, but it's going to be even more on steroids at that point. So yeah, this situation, it's just not, okay, your toys are going to get more expensive. This is a shift in the entire industry that may be permanent and may be very, very detrimental to the consumer. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.